Nationalism. The characteristics were the pride and achievement of your nation, belief in superiority to other nations, the same territory, blood, and language as others in the nation, and you must be more loyal to the nation than anything else, including your family. The factors were industrialization, which included everyone moving to big cities, people starting to like each other, the same language being used nationwide. They had common enemies, and they used realpolitik. Realpolitik was a system of politics based on a country's situation after its needs rather than on ideas about what was morally right and wrong. An example of this was the unification of Germany. It was led by Otto von Bismarck, who was the Chancellor of Prussia, and it was led with realpolitik and blood and iron. To make everyone united after religious separation, Bismarck got everyone to fight the common enemy, the French Empire. In 1870, the Franco-Prussian War started. The Franco-Prussian War was Germany, led by Prussia, against France. Leopold was forcibly up for the Spanish throne before the Franco-Prussian War. He was the cousin of Prussian royalty. France didn't want there to be a Prussian king in Spain because Spain and Germany together would be too strong and take all the French power. France told Leopold that they didn't want him to be the king, so they took him out of candidacy for power, but Prussian William I wasn't taking orders from France. France got mad and declared war on July 19, 1870. Paris moved to the Third Republic on September 4, 1870, which put in use a new constitution. On January 18, 1871, Germany took Versailles and 5 billion francs from France. In the Treaty of Frankfurt on May 10, 1871 declared that Germany was the winner. The French advantages of this war were the early machine gun and the new rifles. And the German advantages were a larger army, good generals, and good organization. The overall effects were that it put Napoleon III out of power and left the Papal States and Italy unprotected. It also unified Germany. Another example of realpolitik is the unification of Italy. First we have Camillo di Cavour. He united Italy under the crown of Sardinia. Austria was the reason Italy wasn't unified in the first place. The Italian military had an alliance with France, so when Austria declared a war against Sardinia in 1859, it was easily defeated by the French army. The other states, Italian states, Tuscany, Parma, Modena, and Romagna, voted to be a part of Sardinia in 1859. Garibaldi also tried to unify Italy. He strived for democracy because he was democratic, and he joined the two states, Sicily and Naples, to make the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. He ultimately gave Cavour his lands in the name of Italian unification. Cavour sent troops into the Papal States and Naples. In 1861, Italy declared a united nation-state under the Sardinian king, Victor Emmanuel II, and it took over Rome in 1870 when the French troops left after the Franco-Prussian War.
Imperialism. Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. One of the greatest examples of this came in the scramble for Africa. Some of the factors in the scramble for Africa that helped it be successful were Europeans' technological advances, including the machine gun, Europeans' ability to travel easier through African countries due to the steamboat, Europeans' ability to fight off African diseases such as malaria, and the simple fact that Africa was not united as one place because of all different cultures and languages spoken there. Because it became imminent by when the scramble started in 1880 that there would need to be some division amongst the countries. This division was decided at the Berlin Conference in 1884. At the conference, it was agreed that any European country could claim an African land by notifying the other nations of its claims, and by also proving that it could control the country it could control the land that it had taken over. Africans living in these countries were not notified of this decision, so they basically had no say in over how their countries might be taken over. British imperialists met their greatest foes in South Africa. From 1770s to the 1800s, several local wars took place over South Africa. The biggest foes were the Zulu tribe, whose leader in 1816 had formed a highly disciplined group of warriors who were able to fight off the British for a while. But this ruler's successors were not able to keep up the job as well. In 1876, the ruler refused British rule, but the British invaded anyway. By July 1879, the Zulu had lost. In 1887, the British had taken over. Another group that was involved in this were the Boers, who were once in the Cape of Good Hope, but left due to conflicts with the British. But these conflicts did not come to the end, because the Boer War, which started in 1889, against the British and the Boers, had started. Black Africans also fought in this war, but they were often taken as prisoners by the British. The war ended in 1910, with the British winning and also starting the Union of South Africa. Imperialism did not just go into Africa and did not just include European countries. The U.S. has also used imperialism in the Philippines and in Hawaii, which we just took over without any invitation. Southeast Asia was also affected by this, with the British taking over the Malayan Peninsula. The French controlled Indochina, while Siam remained independent. The British also took over India. They ruled there for a very long time, controlling India as well as its trade. This rule came to an end after nationalism rose in India.